All right. How about that? Y'all talk to me. I don't know if I have my sound on. Can everybody hear me? Let me see you in the chat. We just had, I can't find my chat right now, but folks, I know you're already here with me in the room, so you know what just happened. The United States actually won the match tonight 4-1 against Paraguay. And I am flying high. If I smoked cigars, I'd have one right now. That was a fantastic game. One of the most complete games, maybe the most complete game I have ever seen us play. The first half was literally, I want to say literally flawless. Everybody playing fantastically, a complete team performance. Everybody had a great game. I can't think of a single person who didn't have a great match, except maybe the goalkeeper, just because he didn't have to do anything. 0 saves, I believe, in the game. And Gio Reyna with the last minute outside the boot goal to give us that goal differential back to a 3-point goal. Folks, let me hear from you. Let's just celebrate together. Jump in the chat and let's see what we got. We've already got people jumping in. Let's see what we have. Amazing performance, John. You're absolutely right. That first half, everybody was moving. Everybody was running for each other. Pulisic splitting defenses. Everybody's overlapping. I even one point saw McKinney and Freeman completely switch places on the field. 8 out of our 10 field players can dribble you. They are very strong technically on the ball. I feel good about every single spot on the field with the possible exception of Tim Ream just because of his age. But, folks, he was playing – I've got a cat that's about to yank down my green screen. So this is about to get very funny back here behind me. But when Tim Ream can play soccer from his knees, we're having a pretty good game. That was awesome. I am flying high. What do we have here? Matt says it was even entertaining for a non-soccer guy. Matt, that was one of the best games we've ever played. We played 4 matches in the last World Cup, and we scored a total of 3 goals in the entire tournament. Tonight we scored 4. That is the best the United States has looked. The weakness for this team is our defense. Our strength is the attack, and we just were aggressive, played it. We had everybody playing on defense. We were only keeping 2 back, ostensibly only keeping 2 back. But there was one time I saw Chris Richards halfway between the center circle and the 18-yard box. If Chris Richards is playing that far up, you know we're having a good night. We just were relentless. In that first half, we were just relentless. I'm going to keep going. The comments are pouring in. Let's see. I'm putting these on the screen before I read them. It seems like we're peaking at the right time. John, I agree. You have to give Pochettino credit. This is a completely different team than what we just saw in March. He got these guys ready. He picked his team, and they woke up. They turned on the switch. He got this team ready. I don't know how far we're going to go. I don't know what's going to happen. But as far as identifying his players and getting them bought in and playing together, playing for each other, and having them all being healthy at the right time and believing in each other and playing for each other, and the performance we saw tonight, especially in the first half, it blows my mind. I've never seen us look that good. That first half has to be the best half of soccer I've ever seen the U.S. play. I don't know if you call it Alexi Lawless's comment. I think it was at halftime of, Alexi Lawless told us that was the best half that any team had ever played in the entire history of the Men's World Cup. Now, Lawless, he's known for being completely neutral and unbiased. But I'm not going to argue with them. Also, I think they said this was the first time that we had a player score more than 1 goal in a World Cup match since 1930, which was the very first match ever. So let's see. Nathan Wright, my brother, in the chat tonight. What a game. That was a complete performance. I am riding high. I can't believe that. The second half was looking a little nervous. I don't know if some of it was us managing the game, us not needing to chase the game and just playing it out. I don't know if another part of it was me maybe being shaken by the unexpected absence of Christian Pulisic. I'm not watching, obviously, any of the post-game coverage. If anybody watching this finds out what they're saying about Pulisic, go ahead and throw it in because I'm not going to hear it. I'm going to miss it. I don't know what that was about. Matt, you're a deaf guy. I appreciate it. You're in my corner. I hope you're on board for the World Cup, Matt. Stay with us. I think it's going to be a fun ride. The next match is next Friday. It's actually going to be in the middle of the afternoon. And if things go according to my plan, I will also be live streaming right after that one. I might be coming down with something that day and not be able to make it in to the office. John says we did a lot of unexpected things. It wasn't the vanilla performance. You saw people overlapping, underlapping, back heel flips, doing the turns. I saw Tillman, I saw Freeman, and Desmond McKinney out there just having fun. Started feeling sorry for the guy who had to mark Pulisic during the first half. Everybody just they were doing stuff. They weren't, like you said, not a vanilla. You can see I'm ecstatic. I'm beside myself. So Matt, we're going to win the World Cup now. Let me know what you think, Matt. Are we winning the whole World Cup? Nathan says we came out on fire for the first half. I felt like we've lost a few steps coming out of the half, but still a great game. Yeah. So several things happening in the second half that made that a little less comfortable than the first half. Again, some of us, we take our foot off the gas a little bit, just managing it. Also, not having Pulisic. We should have been able to keep up that same level of creativity with the players we had on the field. I don't know if the players on the field knew why Pulisic wasn't out there with them. Interestingly, that we had other options to like do a 1-for-1 swap out there on the left where Pulisic was playing as an attacker, but we didn't do a 1-for-1 swap. Like we could have brought in Brendan Aronson on that side, but instead we brought in a defensive midfielder. So we took out an attacker for a defender. So that was a bit of a management move. We already had a 3-goal lead, and there was, we just need to see the game out. There's a little bit of that. And then, of course, Paraguay's playing a little bit of the dark arts, right? They start turning to those tried and true CONMEBOL tactics where if they're not going to win the game, they might as well try to win the fight. They try to get a reaction out of you, and it starts getting a little chippy. And maybe that's all there is to taking Pulisic out is like, look, this is Paraguay, and they're losing by 3. They're going to come out in the second half and just start beating people up and taking cheap shots. And maybe they just didn't want that happening to Pulisic. Maybe that's it. But if you're going to do that, do it for Tyler Adams because he's injury prone and he picked up a yellow. And I'm going to tell you in just a second why that's a big deal. But I got more comments. Let me try to get to them. Pinhoti Outdoor Center says, "Let's go USA." Thank you, Pinhoti. The best the best trail in Alabama? Somebody help me out with that. Matt says, "No, we beat the national equivalent to Sisters of the Poor." Matt, Matt, where's my yellow card? You get a yellow card for that. No good. All right, we're not putting that energy in this chat tonight. We're going all the way. Let's see. John says, except for the goal and yellow card, it was beautiful. I kind of felt like the Paraguay goal was coming the way the second half was going. And I laughed when Reina scored. I lamented losing that +3 goal differential, and Reina comes on, and we have, like they mentioned, it was like what they said, like a 20 pass sequence or whatever. We played it all the way from the back, played all the way through the field, and it falls to Reina, who gets that outside of the foot slice. For him to come on and score a goal with all the drama surrounding him, I don't want to get into all of it right now, but to have him come on and do that was, and you saw how the team reacted. Like, there's a chance the way all this went with him, the history he has, that he's not necessarily going to be accepted in the locker room, but I don't think that's the case at all. We saw the team flock to him. They celebrated his goal more than I think they celebrated anybody else's. And it restored that +3 goal differential, which could play a part. I mean, that's the first tiebreaker in the group standings is goal differential. So depending how the rest of this group stage goes, it could be the difference on us even winning the group or not. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Let me see. Did I miss any comments? I don't know. Y'all can keep them going. I'm loving it. Let me get you off the screen there, John. All right. So yellow cards. Here's the rule with the yellow cards. If you get 2, you're going to miss a game. Now, I don't mean 2 in one game. Obviously, that's the same thing as a red. And you're taken out immediately. Your team plays a man short, and you personally miss the next match. But if you accumulate only 2, as many as 2, then you can finish out the game you're in, but you can't play in the next game. You have to face a suspension. They are going to wipe that slate clean after the group stage, and then they're going to wipe it, which is 3 matches, okay? And any yellow cards you have are clean slate going into the elimination rounds. They're going to wipe the slate again after the quarterfinals, which again would be the 3rd round of elimination. Okay, so there's 3 matches there. And then going into the semifinals, everybody will have a clean slate. But that's the rule with the yellow card accumulation. It only takes 2 for you to miss a match. Tyler Adams picked one up in a dumb play, really. It was completely unnecessary. It was not a situation where he needed to do it. I don't know why he did it. It was just a random shove in the guy's back when there was no danger in the moment. And he is a key player for us. And we're going to need him for the Turkey match, okay? Turkey is the favorite in the group. They're perhaps the only one that's going to give us any trouble. And we need Tyler Adams on the field for that match. And it's the 3rd match. So if he picks up a yellow against Australia next week, we're going to miss him for the most critical match of the group stage. So for him to get a yellow tonight and the way he did, that is the only negative I'm taking out of this match. I really wish that had not happened. Barbecue Chase is back. I haven't had you in the chat in a while. Thank you, Chase. I am stoked. That was stunning. Folks, enjoy it. Matt, I want you to enjoy it too. Light that cigar, kick back. That was a good performance, a good total performance. We knew the U.S. was favored. We knew they would dominate possession, and we expected a win, okay? That's one thing. The other thing is the way we did it and the way we played. We were playing with style. We were playing with confidence. We were playing let me see what we got. We were playing with finesse. What if you pick up your second yellow in the last game of group play? It's wiped clean. Yeah, you don't carry it into the elimination rounds. But we're only talking about pick the accumulation of single yellow cards. If you're in the last game of group play and you pick up 2 yellows and therefore it equates to a red and you're kicked out, you will serve a suspension in the tournament. Because you got a red card off of 2 yellows in one game, you do miss that next match, even though you're going into the elimination rounds. But just in terms of the accumulation of single cards, they wipe it clean after the group stage is over. Let's see. Christian Pulisic is officially good and uninjured following his halftime substitution. Okay. Thanks, Matt, for the update. Thank you for that news. I obviously am not watching the post-match coverage. That still doesn't really answer why they did it, and maybe they're not giving that information yet. But a part of me kind of thinks it might have been just to protect him because they knew what Paraguay was going to try to do in the second half. I think that's a real possibility. And maybe if we don't have a 3-goal lead, maybe we're putting Aronson in instead of Berhalter. What do y'all think of the lineup? Give me comments on the lineup tonight. I have no problems with it, considering that we knew Ream was going to start because he was named the captain. I mean, if I'm picking the 11, he's not in it. But given that we knew he had to be, right? You look at the rest of the lineup on the field, and it's exactly who I want in every position. That we got Richards in center. We got Freeman playing. How good was Freeman tonight? How good was Malik Tillman? I think Tillman had his best game ever in the U.S. jersey. I think Freeman's been such a revelation at converting to right back. I loved how Jedi and Pulisic were combining on the left side, and often Jedi was tucking in and playing in with Pulisic playing outside of him. People just having fun. It's just backyard sandlot soccer. Matt, you're telling me they're saying it was precautionary. I wonder if that means he had any kind of slightest knock, or if they were like, you know what, we got a 3-goal lead, you're precious, then sit down. If that's all it is, like just nervous that you're going to lose your star player or whatever, I don't agree with the move. I mean, he's playing with confidence. He's had a great game. He's had an assist. He's splitting defenses. He's having fun out there. Let him play. But if it's precautionary against Paraguay's, dirty tactics that they should expect, because South American teams seem to do that in general, and especially someone on the level of Paraguay, if they're not going to win the game, they're going to make sure you remember them one way or the other by the time the game's over. Was this group of, let me see, the only performance I saw was from Pepe. Everyone else was brilliant. Yeah, that's a good shout. I saw a couple of moments. There was one clear moment where I think he should have taken a shot at the goal and he laid it off, and it really wasn't the right move. And it seemed like there was one other moment of indecision or a poor decision that he made. So, I think you're right. I'm going to take this off, Matt. I'll put it right back on. I haven't read it yet. For me, I was waffling a little bit for the striker position just because I liked how Pepe and Pulisic have been playing together, how they were playing together in those last friendlies. Of course, we don't see Pepe and Pulisic together at the same time in this match, but I think maybe what this match does show us is that Balogun does belong at the top of the depth chart. And how good was he? He gets a brace in this game. He gets two. Lots of fun watch. I loved his one just before the half. Let me see. I already saw that one, didn't I? Was this group of officials yellow card happy, or is that about normal? I think that was about normal. Somebody else, you can weigh in on this. Let me know what you think. I don't think the referee was being unreasonable at all. You would like to see less yellow cards, but that has to do with how the players choose to play the game. I think the ref called it right. And I think we started getting chippy in the second half. I don't really have a problem with the officiating tonight. There was one missed. We saw that one shot where the Paraguayan goalkeeper clearly blocked it with his hand and it went out for what should have been a corner. They missed that and making it a goal kick. That's the only like missed call I saw all night. But in terms of managing the game and the fouls that were being called, I really didn't have an issue. And to see, remember they gave a yellow caution to Tim Ream and were giving Paraguay a set piece, a free kick right outside our box. And then they called it back, reviewed it, rescinded the yellow, turned around and gave it to Almiron for Paraguay for diving, for faking it. And so that's a victory for the instant replay system and the video referee. If we can eliminate stuff like that. Miguel Almiron, he plays for Atlanta. And the first time he was with the team, he was our best guy. And I'm a fan of his. But that was a bad moment for him. And I'm glad that he got called out on it. Let's see. We get a comment from Smoke Signal. Smoke Signal, welcome to the chat. He says, I don't think they were yellow card happy particularly. I've seen worse. We got one. I think they got two. One of them was definitely deserved. Yeah, I agree. I don't have a problem with how it was called. And Paraguay probably felt like they were doing what they had to do. Our yellow card was deserved. It was just a dumb play. Like, it wasn't necessary. Like, I think the Paraguay guy was receiving the ball he was around midfield with his back to where he should be going, and Adams just runs up behind him and shoves him in the back for no reason. Like, it was completely unnecessary. Let's see. We have Nathan asking, seeing this game, how do you see our group? Well, I mean, goodness, this is the most complete performance I've ever seen. So right now I'm flying high. We're going to win it all. I said this in my last live stream. I'm predicting 2 group stage wins. And we've never done that before, ever in our history. I expect it. Our next game is next Friday. It's the 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock game. We're playing Australia. We should win that game, especially with the form that we're in. The form we were in with Senegal, Germany, and now this game. We should be able to handle Australia. By the way, we played them last year. We beat them. I expect two wins. We get 2 wins in the group stage. That's 6 points. That guarantees us getting out of group stage. We were guaranteed to make it into elimination rounds. The only question is, do we win the group or not? Which affects our seeding and affects the quality of opponent that we might see, in the next round. So we want to win the group to give ourselves the most favorable bracket possible. That's how it works everywhere. So our third game is against Turkey. Most people consider Turkey to be the favorite to win the game, to win the group. Most people consider them the group favorite. There's no reason to think that we can't hang with them and we can't compete. on our day, we can beat them. That's going to be a game to look forward to. It may come down to that match of who wins the group. Then again, we don't know how this is going to go, and we're sitting all of a sudden on a +3 goal differential. Who knows? We may only need we may not need much out of that game against Turkey to win the group. We just have to see how the rest of this shakes out. We are playing Australia. I've hit this a couple of times already. Next Friday in the middle of the afternoon, and which is a longer time between group stage matches than we usually get. This is an artifact of an expanded field, a bigger tournament. We're getting more rest. That's good in terms of maybe we don't need to rotate and use our bench so much. That's a good thing for us because we're not that deep of a team. Our starting lineup, pretty strong. Don't go into the bench, and today was easy. We went deep into the bench, and that was fine. We had the game in hand. But against a tough opponent with things tight, how deep can you go on our bench and trust the quality that you're getting? I don't know. I'm saying maybe about 4 quality players off the bench. Let me know what y'all think. So it's good that maybe we don't need to rely on our bench so much with the greater periods of rest between games. Our third match will be the following Thursday, the 25th, and it will be at night. And it'll be the same time as tonight's was, but it's going to be on a Thursday night against Turkey. I love the technology used to move the yellow card away from Ream, offside technology. I have to say, they have the VAR, the video replay, all that, the communication and the speed at which things are done. That went really well tonight. If you can use all that technology to make quick decisions, not interrupt the game, not stop it down with long deliberations, keep the game moving, right? Soccer is about motion. It's about movement. You don't ever want an interruption in the action. That all went very smoothly tonight. And this stuff about some automated sensor to know if somebody's offside or not, that's new. And I don't quite know how that works, but whatever that system was, that also seemed to work well. All I want to do is see the right calls made without, stopping the game for 10 minutes to fuss over a replay. And there was a goal that looked like was going to be our second goal that got called back for being offside. It was the right call. The right call was made, and that's all you can ask for is that they get it right. And so I actually, believe it or not, U.S. wins 4-1, and I'm happy with the officiating. Let's see. I think it was the chippy play of Paraguay, hence more yellows. You're talking about why they took Pulisic out. Yeah, I don't feel like they got too chippy in the first half, though. But I don't. I mean, it doesn't take a genius to expect them to do it in the second half. So I feel like that was probably a part of it. But if it was, then maybe think about Adams also. Does Poch start the same 11 against Australia? Excellent question. Everybody answer that. Tell me what you think. I kind of think that we do. I think we do for a couple of reasons. Number one, we had a really strong team performance. You want to reward that good play, and you want to build on the momentum that, soccer is so much about improvisation and trusting and knowing instinctively where your teammates are going to go and how to play them. And so that's why minutes together is important, and which is something that our team has not enjoyed the luxury of during these last couple of years because there's so much experimentation with the roster and the lineup. And if we put together a performance like that, you want to feed that hot hand. I think you want to keep this group together. The other part of it is we get a full week between matches, so it's not like you're overtaxing the bodies with a compact schedule. So I think you keep it exactly the same. Y'all tell me what you think. I wasn't surprised to see Berhalter or Pepe or Weah come into the match, and or Reyna really. So I think those are your guys. So y'all tell me what you think. Yeah, Matt, ain't broke, don't fix it. See, I tried to talk for 5 minutes. You said it in 5 words. I think you're exactly right. So, Matt, when are you starting your soccer live stream channel? I think Ream will get subbed. I mean, he's 38. He's going to turn 39 pretty soon after this tournament is over. I don't want to drop my flag on the ground. Give me a second here. I would like to see Aaron Trusty as the left back because he's left-footed. I would trust McKenzie there also, but Trusty's left-footed, and I would rather have either one of those guys. I just am nervous about Tim Ream because obviously he's giving Pochettino something that he likes, and it's probably his soccer IQ, it's probably his leadership, it's probably his organization, his communication with the rest of the defense. I'm guessing at all that. It's got to be something with his veteran wisdom that he's bringing to the field that somebody else can't. But it is a young man's game, especially international soccer. And I just don't trust him in that spot if we're going up against truly quality opponents, which we're not going to see in the group stage. I'm talking about higher quality than Turkey. I'm talking about if we're going to make a deep run. If we get caught out, if Tim Ream's caught way up the field when the ball turns over and he's got to get on his horse and go, I don't think he wins. There was a couple of times where he had foot races tonight. But the angle of his path to the ball worked to his advantage, and he was able to eke those out. But, we're going up against a contender later on in the tournament. I don't know. I want a younger person there. That's just how I feel about it. Matt, the soccer expert, I'm about to bring him in on camera as a guest. Same 11, ain't broke, don't fix it. See, now that time you took 7 words. You don't need to do that, Matt. But you know what? You actually, I was going to give you credit for using more than one syllable there, but you used the number 11 instead of the word. So when Coverdale does this next, all right, that's an inside joke. All right, Matt, you already sitting on a yellow. Watch it. Folks, tell me what you think. That was, this is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. We have waited a long time for this, obviously. 32 years since the last home World Cup. Who knows if we'll ever get another one? The most important World Cup in the history of our country as a soccer nation. Why do I say that? Well, it has to be one of the tournaments that we've hosted because of the impact that it will have on the popularity of the sport and the game. Now, back then, soccer didn't really exist in this country at the top level. And you can credit the World Cup 94 for laying that foundation, and we have what we have today. But now, soccer is big in this country. Not necessarily Major League Soccer, but all these top European leagues are easily available to fans in this country that want to watch them. It is the critical mass for a soccer fan base in this country. It exists. The problem is not a lack of fans. The problem is making them Major League Soccer fans. But a strong performance from this American team in this tournament will spark interest and drive interest across America. And what do we have? We have Major League Soccer. So I think that's what we want. We want to see our domestic league get bigger. We want to see the money come in, and we want to be able to see the roster rules, loosen up a little bit so we can start having more of the top international players coming here and playing. There is no reason why we can't have one of the top leagues in the world. Why do I say that? Because number one, our country is awesome. And number two, people want to live here. So maybe the quality of the average American soccer player is not enough to elevate the league, but we don't need American players. And we can get anybody. We have Messi now. We have Thomas Mueller. We have Son Heung-min. We can start getting younger superstars coming here. Because they love living in America. But the money is weird, the way the league controls it. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. I'm getting to the weeds of Major League Soccer, but it's related to what the impact of this tournament can have on soccer in this country. And I love seeing the country come alive for the World Cup and get behind the national team. I've been following this team all along. I know all these players. I've been tracking them. That's why I have this channel, is try to help you go on that same journey. We get a lot of people that just show up to watch the World Cup. That's okay. You're welcome here, and I want to be your tour guide. This is the team. What do we have here? Those were world-class strikes by Belligan and Reyna. I really like Reyna's shot. I mean, it comes at the very end when the match is already decided, but the way he shot that, he let the defender run up to a certain point, and then he's able to flick it with the outside of his boot. To have the calmness and the awareness and the presence of mind to execute something like that, and have it curve right in. I mean, it was beautiful. It's a beautiful shot. I loved it. This was the most aggressive I've seen a U.S. team be in the World Cup from Mr. Jim Butler. Jim, I got to agree with you. I mean, we've only won so many World Cup matches. We haven't won many. And usually we're winning. If we do win, it's by 1 goal or, one or two. I don't think we've ever won a match by 3. You have to go back to 1930 to find one guy scoring more than 1 goal. And here's the thing. I think I said this before. Almost all of our field players are like technically skilled on the ball. They can dribble you, not just our midfielders, our attackers, our defenders also. Now, Richards might not dribble you and Ream might not dribble you, although I saw Ream breaking ankles out there a couple of times tonight. I did. But everybody out there can dribble the field. And you have like Freeman. He's played as a winger. He's a right back right now, or center back on the right side. And he can take that ball and dribble through the middle of the field if he needs to. And so when you have that kind of ball control skill all over the pitch, then you get to see what we see, which is people making runs for each other, crisscrossing, confusing the defenders, making them have to choose who they're going to run with because you're not having to stay in your little spot of the field. You're able to switch with people. That movement is what creates space and creates opportunities. 70K at SoFi was super impressive, great energy. How awesome was that crowd? Matt, thank you for bringing that up. It's one thing for the U.S. to play in front of a full crowd in America. It's another thing for that crowd to be pro-American. A lot of times it feels like a road match for them because all the cheering is for the other team. That was a red, white, and blue crowd. I shouldn't say that. Paraguay's colors are also red, white, and blue. That was an American crowd. They were there for the United States. And that was awesome to see. Absolute scenes. I loved all those field level shots where you're seeing all the levels of the stadium in the background. It's all packed out. It was a complete sellout. I loved it. I love the scenes. What do we have here? Amen. Crowd was amped the entire match. I think the commentators even said something about that, when they're in the second half where it looked like maybe we were losing momentum or whatever, or things were starting to slog. The crowd just stepped up, fired them up, started cheering, and just fueled those guys. I know that they were feeling that crowd. I know that that's one of the advantages of playing at home, and to have that kind of support. And that's one thing I want to say about now that the tournament is here. I don't want to see criticism over player selection. I don't want to see us trashing players. Whatever angst we went through, wondering if we were going to get the best team possible, these are our guys, and the game is on. So let's just cheer for our team, and let's just support all of them. And there's nothing to complain about with this performance. I wish Adams hadn't got a yellow card, and Matt Freese did not get tested. Now, I'm going to tell you, I saw a couple of moments where I thought Freese could come off his line, be a little bolder. There were still moments where he looked nervous. He wasn't tested. The ball didn't come to him in these random moments I'm thinking of. But I just wonder how comfortable he really is back there, because he also should have come off the line for that early goal that Germany scored against us. And he spent almost this entire cycle being the number one guy in goal for Pochettino, while Matt Turner was struggling in England. He was coming back to New England Revolution in MLS just to try to get some playing time for hoping to make it back to the World Cup. He was our starter in 2022. And the Revolution were not a good team when he first showed up. And Freese kept getting the minutes in goal. And now, this year, Turner is in like the best form of his life. The Revolution are having a fantastic season. They're top 4 in the East. He's probably the better goalkeeper right now in this moment. But how do you take it away from Freese at the last minute? Like, how do you do that? And what's the psychological impact on your team if you're going to rug pull them like that? So I think just on the timing of it all, you have to keep Freese. But I'm going to be honest, I think I'd be a little bit more comfortable with Turner in the goal. Didn't matter tonight. Absolutely not tested. I think literally 0 saves were required. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Do I have any more? Is there any chance we can get Tim Howard back in goal? You mean 2014 Tim Howard? Sure. I tell you what, come swing by, pick up my DeLorean, go to 2014, get that Tim Howard. We'll find a way to add him to this roster. But I can tell you, you don't want the 2026 Tim Howard. He finished out his career playing in lower divisions, I think in Memphis maybe. And yeah, it's one of those things where to see a great athlete stay in the game a little too long, it's like you don't remember him that way. Let's see. Getting all right, I'll put it on the screen. Getting Doc Brown to help with that. All right, good. All right, let me know how that works. That'd be fantastic. You can go ahead and grab Clint Dempsey for me, and any comments? I don't think I did, folks. I think we can about wrap this up. I'm just flying high. I'm excited. I wanted to win. Of course, even though we were expecting a win, it's in the back of your mind that, like, if something disastrous happens, if we lay an egg, if we make some critical mistake, Paraguay gets super lucky in a moment. If we lose this match, if you come out and lose the first game of the World, and so you did not want to see us stumble and just have a bad night. That was what had me anxious. Not only did we win, we won in such great form, looking like we're going to be the champions. So we have every reason to be confident. I'm rolling into next Friday expecting a win against Australia, and we will be playing in the elimination rounds. The game is, like I said, afternoon, 2 or 3 o'clock. If things go according to my plan, I'll be watching that live, and I'll be right here as soon as that game is over. I think that's going to do it. Enjoy it. This was a fantastic match from the United States, a complete game. Everybody had a great game. I've got no notes. I think we haven't been able. What you talking about? I think we haven't been able to have our expectations exceeded in a performance like this. Oh, yeah, I think you're right. You're saying you don't think the team has been able to exceed our expectations in a long time, if ever. I would agree with that. 2022, 26-man roster, 13 of those folks are on this roster. So it's exactly in half. Half are from the last World Cup and are in only their second World Cup, and the other half are in their first World Cup. So we had a changeover. When we missed the 2018 World Cup and did not qualify, we threw a hard switch on the youth movement with our national team program. Everybody that was in the mix to play in those days was out the door. We came in with a whole new batch of people starting in 2018, and we saw the first wave of that youth movement, I guess you could say, in 2022, and only half of that team is back now. And this is the team at the prime age of their careers. Like people like Pulisic and Adams and McKinney, they had to step up a little early. They were a little too young at the last World Cup because we had a generation gap there, that gap in quality. In 2018, we failed to qualify. We went hard youth movement. And so there's this group of guys that had to step up, play up a little bit early. And that was who we saw in 2022. The same core players, right? And we got out of group and we lost our first elimination match. That was good for that team. 4 years later, more mature, more seasoned, the proper age, right? That prime, like that mid to late 20s, that prime age of your athletic career. This is that World Cup for this group of players. And so my expectations for this World Cup have always been high. You can go back on my channel and it will bear that out. I've said that I've had 2026 circled for at least 12 years. Like that's the one. And definitely ever since 2017, when we got eliminated from the 2018 World Cup, when we lost that qualification match, I was already looking ahead to 2026. This needed to be our tournament, especially when I found out we were going to host it. So, and that's what's had me so nervous during this past cycle, is because of how botched the whole management of the program and getting the right manager in place and all that kind of stuff. It's been nerve-wracking. If Pochettino has this team as ready as it seems that he does, and these guys are all playing so well together, this core group in their prime year of their careers, and they're playing with such momentum, and they got the crowd behind them, who knows what can happen. I'm excited. Folks, I think that's going to do it. What do we have? USA. Go USA, USA. Yes, yes to all of it. Folks, keep watching some soccer with me. I will definitely be going live as soon as the USA Australia match is over. Come here and celebrate that win with me also. Until then, I'll talk to you next time.